It's time for sports.
Hello everyone, welcome to the final edition of LTCC Sports. Alongside Ben Hayes, I'm Dan Girolamo. It was a crazy weekend in sports, headlined by an action-packed Mother's Day. Let's get into some NBA playoff action. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Cavs and Bulls. LeBron James typically plays well when down on the road in a playoff series, averaging north of 30 points and 10 boards. Paul Gasol for the Bulls had to sit out with a sore hamstring. Early on, LeBrick was out to play as Tom Thibodeau's Bulls defense locked him down from the start. LeBron forced into a bad pass right there. Then, driving to the middle, he'll get double-teamed, and it's going to be stripped by Jimmy Butler. Finally, the nightmare continues as LeBron coughs up the rock with his 4th turnover of the first quarter. Things are not going well for King James early. Meanwhile, vintage Derrick Rose came out on fire. Rose with the floater off the glass plus the foul. Then in transition, Rose goes to the left hand with this smooth layup. Finally, Rose, he's going to glide past Timothy Mozgov here and contort to make the acrobatic layup with his offhand. That's pretty. Take another gander as Rose lays it in. He had 15 points in the first half, hitting 6 of 10 shots, but the Bulls were still down 4 at the half. After that, Bulls are down 2. Jimmy Butler, he's going to pass to Joakim Noah in the middle with a wild shot, but Taj Gibson is there to clean up the mess for the putback slam and tie. The Bulls would go on a 13-0 run after that. Scary moment, though, right now for the Cavs as LeBron's going to drive, and he goes down in an ugly tie-up. Looks like he stepped on Derrick Rose's foot, and he appears to roll his ankle along with being called for the charge. Luckily for the Cavs fans, LeBron would remain in the game despite being in visible pain. To the 4th we go. The Cavs were down 7 to start the quarter, but are now down 3 when J.R. Smith is going to convert from behind the arc and hits the 3. Now the Cavs are going to be up 1. LeBron, he'll bully his way into the lane and hits the hook shot off the glass. Cavs up 3. Timeout Bulls. Now tied at 73. J.R. Smith again. He'll shoot from downtown. Yes, the same J.R. Smith who was traded from the Knicks earlier this season hits the 3, finished 3 of 6 from behind the arc. On the other side, the Bulls could not buy a bucket. Jimmy Butler with the drive and miss. Joakim Noah playing volleyball with himself. He'll miss, can't convert. Nothing is going to fall until Jimmy Butler with a nice crossover step back for 3. Wow, he is going to be special for years to come. He had 19 points on the night. 18.8 seconds left. LeBron, he's going to catch the inbound looking for the foul, but he'll plow over Mike Dunleavy Jr. for the charge. LeBron can't believe it. Let's take another look. LeBron appears to elbow Dunleavy up high. Could have been a flagrant foul. LeBron's still in disbelief, and he's thinking at this time he might have just lost the game for the Cavs. Bulls ball now. Rose drives right. He's been good all game and hits the tough layup to tie it at 84. 7 seconds left. LeBron James going to drive down to the right. Goes up. A lot of contact there. No call. Appears it looks like a foul, but ball's out of bounds. Cav ball, 1.5 seconds left. LeBron will wave off David Blatt's play, say, I got this. Hits the game-winning fadeaway from the corner as the Cavs win 86-84. His teammates mob him in the middle of the floor and watch as they almost take out their best player in the celebration, but it does not matter. Cavs tied the series at 2 to bring it back to Cleveland for Game 5. Marks James' 3rd buzzer beater in his playoff career, which ties him with another player who is known for his clutch shots, Mr. Michael Jordan. So, Ben, what a game. What a game.
What a game.
That was amazing. I mean, series is now tied at 2. Who has the advantage going into Game 5 in Cleveland?
Well, obviously it's going back to Cleveland. 2 of the games will be in Cleveland. I have to give the favor to the Cavaliers. It's all about the superstars in this series. And, LBJ, he was just 2 assists away from a triple-double last game. The game before, just 2 rebounds away from a triple-double. So he's really been playing phenomenally. On the other end of the spectrum, though, the Bulls, their guys, Butler, Rose.
Butler and Rose have combined for 50 points in the last 2 games.
Last 2 games.
Each one each. Yeah. But, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. I think this series will go to 7, and it'll be a delight for the fans to watch.
I agree. Now moving on to the Western Conference semifinals. There was a golden opportunity for the Clippers to advance and make the series 3-1. James Harden trying to prevent just that. Early in the first, Clippers keying in on Harden on the offensive end. Here's Griffin with the spin and the baby hook for the finish. Chris Paul now, driving on the bearded one, takes it to the rack for the easy 2 points. CP3 with the ball again, gets a screen from DeAndre Jordan for the mismatch and returns the favor for the big man who lays it in. tied up now, and the Rocklets are going to implement the hack-a-DJ approach. Instead of playing defense, Houston is just intentionally fouling DeAndre Jordan to put him at the line. In the first half, Jordan set a playoff record for most free throws in one half with 28, and that's not MJ. Jordan made just 10 of them, but the Clippers still lead at the half. But the second half was all about DeAndre as the big man slammed home dunk after dunk after dunk. Here's Chris Paul with the alley-oop to DeAndre for the big finish. CP3 again, and another huge alley-oop. Wow. Here's a second look at it. Send it home, Jerome. Clips up big. Late third quarter now, Griffin tries to pull a swim move on Dwight Howard, and Howard puts him on the court. Both players upset. Here's another look at it. Clear contact, and Howard gets the technical foul. Griffin was with some words after. I'm sure they're all nice. Fourth quarter now, Griffin driving on Howard, gets the bump and the finish. That's Howard's 6th personal foul, and he's out for the game. But not before some choice words for the officials and an immediate ejection. Howard clearly frustrated as he walks towards the locker room. LA takes this one, 128-95. DeAndre Jordan led all scorers with 26 points.
So this hack-a-Jordan strategy, a lot of people aren't calling it basketball because they started this intentional foul process 3.5 minutes into the first quarter, and people are calling to ban this. Can you ban this rule? I don't know if you can.
Well, I mean, it all started when Shaquille O'Neal was playing with the Lakers, teams that do that against him. But now DeAndre Jordan, his free throw percentage is 37.1. It's even better for him. But, I mean, it is an approach. I don't really see a huge future for it, but I'm not sure how they can change it.
Call me old school, but maybe it's just time to learn how to shoot free throws. After the break, we'll throw it to JT Marrero for his report on sports injuries that have been plaguing athletes for decades.
Every year, college athletes pay a price to play the sport that they love. I sat down with Matthew Gettino to discuss the sport that he loves.
Matt Gettino played offensive tackle at SUNY Cortland up in Cortland, New York. I was really highly recruited out of high school. A bunch of schools recruited me. I ended up deciding to choose Cortland to play football there. I thought it was the best opportunity for me to play right away. First game I started was against Ithaca. It was a big Portica Jug game. It's our biggest rival. On the ninth play, I was blocking, and they tackled the running back into my leg. And I felt the pop immediately in my leg, with 2 pops, and I didn't realize how bad it really was. And then all of a sudden, I looked down at my leg, and it was sideways, and it was really messed up. So from then on, they carried me off the field and evaluated me, and I thought I was okay. I wanted to get back in and play again. I told them, I asked them, can I go back in and play? They're like, no, you're definitely done for the day. And they obviously knew a little bit more than me with how bad it was. I still try to, like I said, stay involved in the game, and I love it, so much. College, I'm a big Notre Dame fan, big follower of the NFL draft. I like watching, scouting the players, and I'm a big New York Giants fan, so I like to keep up with everything on the Giants. And there's no better game than football. Being out there on Saturdays, Sundays, Friday nights, whatever it is. There's really not a better feeling watching, playing, coaching, whatever you're doing. I think it's such a great sport to be around with the camaraderie with the guys, the coaches. No matter where you go, it's like always a special feeling, whatever team it is, and you can really tell a lot of the units how successful they're going to be, whether how they get along and the chemistry they have with each other, and it's such a special bond. So I think that's really neat, and that's why I love it so much.
An injury will cause a player to regret the sport that they love, but Matthew has a different take on football.
I really don't have any regrets playing the game of football. I love it, and I wouldn't take it back for anything. As a matter of fact, I really want to, go on and coach any way I can, possibly. I'm a pretty good evaluator of seeing things in the game, so I think I can definitely help out coaching. I'd even really love to be a scout for somebody, and, I could definitely break down, games and positions, especially on the offensive line. So I hope to take it further and just to keep the game with me any way I can. Whether it's, like I said, being a coach or a scout. So that's really something I hope to do.
According to NCAA.org, 50.4% of injuries occurring in football games are on the lower body. Matthew proved he's far from just another statistic, but that's the price he paid for the game he loves. For LTCC Sports, I'm Jonathan Marrero. Back to you guys.
Thanks, JT. We have some breaking news out of Foxborough. Yesterday, the NFL levied its penalties for the Patriots' infamous Deflategate scandal. Here's the full NFL release, courtesy of Albert Breer. The New England Patriots were notified yesterday of the following discipline that has been imposed for violations of the NFL policy on integrity of the game and enforcement of competitive rules relating to the use of underinflated footballs in the AFC Championship game of this past season. For the violation of the playing rules and the failure to cooperate in the subsequent investigation, the Patriots are fined $1 million and will forfeit the club's first-round selection in the 2016 NFL Draft. The club will also forfeit their fourth-round selection in the 2017 NFL Draft. If the Patriots have more than one selection in either of these rounds, the earlier selection shall be forfeited. The club may not trade or otherwise encumber these selections. Patriots owner Robert Kraft advised Commissioner Roger Goodell last week. The Patriots employees John Jastrzemski and James McNally have been indefinitely suspended without pay by the club effective on May 6th. Quote, "We reached these decisions after extensive discussion with Troy Vincent and many others," Commissioner Goodell said. "We relied on the critical importance of protecting the integrity of the game and the thoroughness of independence of the Wells report." So, what do you think about this, Dan?
I'm kind of baffled, honestly.
I am too.
The 4 games is what really sticks out to me. Where's this precedent being set that they more than probably deflated the balls? I mean, I think it's kind of obvious. Most of America thinks they did, but where do you get the 4 games though if there's no definitive proof? That's what I can't wrap my head around.
Well, here's the thing. If this is a court of law, he's going to be innocent. You know, you need proof to incriminate someone in that manner, and they just don't have it.
Now, I was okay with the draft picks and the fine. I thought like that was fair because I think the NFL was kind of upset, with Spygate before and now with the tampering of the balls, and then, Robert Kraft asking the NFL for an apology, Brady's agent speaking out. Was this more of a personal decision by Roger Goodell? That's what I'm kind of leaning towards it was.
I feel like he might have been compensating for the fact that people think that they're buddies. He didn't want to seem like he was being too lenient, so instead he came down rather harsh. It's pretty interesting, though. If the suspension holds, Brady will come back week 5 against the Indianapolis Colts, who, played the AFC Championship game.
Kind of ironic, everything works out.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to look for, Brady's going to appeal. That's definitely going to happen. I think in the next 3 days, he has a chance. Do you think it will be reduced?
I think it might be reduced to 2 games. I don't see him, getting it completely reduced, but I could see 2 games happening.
I also tend to agree with that, too. But coming up, we'll be live with senior lacrosse player Dave Scarcello.
The Marist men's lacrosse team traveled up north to the Carrier Dome this past Sunday to face off against the Syracuse Orangemen for the first round of the 2015 NCAA tournament.
The Red Foxes got off to a great start as senior midfielder Drew Neesmith netted an early goal to put Marist up 1-0. The Red Foxes had some life, but the lead was short-lived as Syracuse put up 10 straight goals. Going into the half, the Red Foxes trailed the second-ranked Orange 10-2. This game was dominated by Syracuse attackman Kevin Rice, who tied the Syracuse record for points in a tournament game with 9. Marist rallied in the second half, however, cutting the Syracuse lead in half by scoring 3 straight goals in the third quarter. This rally would not prove to be enough, though, as Syracuse doubled their halftime score and took the game by storm, 20-8. Junior attackman Joe Radin led Marist scores with 4 goals and 1 assist, while sophomore attackman J.D. Recor added a goal of his own, along with 3 assists.
I'm here with Dave Scarcello, the starting goalie for the Marist lacrosse team. How you doing, Dave? Thanks for joining us.
Great, thanks for having me.
So, talk to me about the game on Sunday. What was the experience like in the Carrier Dome?
Great atmosphere, a lot of great fans there. We had a couple fan buses head down there. It was just a great experience.
I know Coach Wilkinson talked about the experience running out of the locker room and hearing the roar of the crowd. What was that like?
It was awesome to see a lot of our own fans there, especially when you're playing a team like Syracuse. It's great to have that.
They had 47 shots, 46 ground balls. What do you think was the difference in the game? Was that a big difference?
I would definitely say that was a difference. They had a lot of great athletes out there, and they had a very high IQ, so it was tough to stick around with them.
Despite the loss, you guys had an unbelievable season. Top 10 in goals against, top 15 offense. What was it like this year? You played with the same starting 3 defensemen every game compared to last year when only 1 starting defenseman started every game of the season.
It was very nice that we were able to get that great chemistry down on the defensive end, and I know that the offense had great chemistry as well, so that's what led to us to having a historic season.
You yourself played unbelievable. You got the MAC tournament MVP. What was that like?
I got to credit that to the defense. They let me see a lot of good shots this year. We played very good.
What do you see for the future of the program?
They got a lot of returning guys like Joe Radin, 2 guys on the defensive end that are returning it close. So, the future is bright.
And real quick, why do they call you Horse?
Yeah, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Back to you guys in studio.
Just days after being voted the most overrated player in the PGA Tour by his counterparts, Ricky Fowler set out to shut the haters up this past Thursday at TPC Sawgrass. Fowler found himself in the middle of the pack on Sunday until 4 birdies and an eagle on the last 6 holes slingshotted him into a 3-way tie for first place with Sergio Garcia and Kevin Kistner. Turns out that this was the greatest finish in the 34-year history of TPC Sawgrass. Fowler refused to waver when he found himself in a 3-way playoff. All 3 players made par on the 16th hole. Kistner went on to birdie 17, and Fowler followed up with a birdie of his own. With Garcia virtually eliminated, it was Fowler and Kistner on 18 for the win. Kistner finally missed a critical putt on 18, and Fowler went in for the kill. He answered with Sports Illustrated poll with a convincing victory.
When we come back, we will have our NBA insider, Ian Lindsay, live in studio.
Welcome back. We are here with our NBA insider, Ian Lindsay.
In a surprising turn of events, the first-place Golden State Warriors dropped 2 games in a row and found themselves trailing their second-round series with the Memphis Grizzlies 2-1 heading into Monday night's Game 4 in Memphis. The Warriors had not lost 3 games in a row all season. Head coach Steve Kerr looked to get MVP Steph Curry and his team back on track, and Curry answered the call. He finished the night with 33 points, scoring 21 of them by the end of the first half. He had not scored more than 23 points in any game this series. Curry also added 8 rebounds and 5 dishes for by far his best game of the series. His fellow Splash brother Klay Thompson added 15 points with 3 of 6 3-pointers made. The Warriors came out with intensity from the start as Memphis only had a lead at 9-8 in the start of the game and essentially tried to claw back the entire night to no avail. Marc Gasol finished with 19 points and 10 boards for the Grizzlies, but was inefficient with his shot as he ended with 7 of 19. The biggest problem for the Grizzlies was the play of point guard Mike Conley. As Conley goes, the Grizzlies go. And last night was a perfect example of that. Conley ended up with 7 assists, but also had 3 turnovers and had only 10 points on 4 of 15 shooting. As Conley sputtered, so did the Grizzlies' half-court offense. Golden State led at halftime 61-44 and never looked back. As Curry alluded to ESPN reporters after the game, we set the tone in the first quarter and kept the foot on the gas pedal the whole way, and that's how we play. The Warriors come out on top in the rout 101-84 and even up the series at 2. They will meet the Grizzlies again at home in Oracle Arena for Game 5 on Wednesday night. For LTCC Sports, I'm Ian Lindsay. Back to you guys.
In Yankees news this past Sunday, the Bronx Bombers defeated the Baltimore Orioles 6-2. But the noteworthy part of this game was the incredible start by Yankees pitcher Michael Pineda. He struck out a career-high 16 batters in his 7 innings on the mound. Pineda now joins former Yankees pitchers David Cone and David Wells for second most strikeouts in a game for the franchise. Pineda also has a perfect record for this season, winning all 5 of his starts and boasting a 2.72 ERA. During the game, his slider was almost unhittable as it struck out 12 of the 16. Along with Pineda's big day, Carlos Beltran hit his first homer of the season, while the only runs for the Orioles came from a J.J. Hardy homer at the top of the second and a single to center from Adam Jones, which allowed Jimmy Paredes to score at the top of the 8th. The Yankees were aided by Didi Gregorius and Jacoby Ellsbury, who both got 2 RBIs on the day. Currently, the Yankees stand at the top of the American League East Division and are now in the middle of a 4-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. Well, coming up after the break, we'll take a look at some bloopers from this past semester. Welcome back. On behalf of all our staff, we wanted to thank everyone for tuning in to LTCC Sports. It's been a great semester so far. For LTCC Sports, I'm Dan Girolamo alongside Ben Hayes. Now, we've had some bumps along the way, mostly in the forms of technical difficulties and an odd obsession with saying tune in. Let's take a look back at the bloopers from previous shows.
Everybody makes mistakes.
The NHL playoffs are in full swing.
Thanks for tuning into LCC Sports.
The men's college basketball season came to a close.
The first ever veteran combine was held this past weekend.
Islanders traveled to our nation's capital.
Earlier this Saturday was the 100th.
Welcome back. The NFL is typically gearing up for draft. However, I don't know about you, Connor, but these Rangers are looking.
Oh, you're good.
I don't know about you, Connor, but these Rangers are. But the Rangers are definitely very impressive. They come out.
Grit, G-R-I-T, and she has a lot of it.
Thank you. Coming up after the break, I will sit down with Marist water polo player.
Graham has been averaging 12.3 yards per reception.
Kentucky is my favorite as well.
Technical difficulties.
What caught your eye over the first 2 rounds?
And he goes on to win it.
What are you guys doing for spring break?
Girls up north in Buffalo have a lot of.